Hello Fearless Gamers, Matt here for Fearless Games, and welcome to The Year in Review. This is the video where we go over the year, look at what we did good, what we did bad, and what we have planned towards in the future for the next following year, in this case 2026. So let's dump right into this video, but before we do, if you haven't already, click that subscribe button so that way you know when these videos come out. Hit that little bell icon so YouTube actually tells you when these videos come out, and give this video a like so to help it circulate. We would really appreciate it, and it is a real big help for the channel. So without further ado, the year in review. How did we do this year? Honestly, I'm not entirely happy with how we did this year. We did have a couple of hiccups with getting content out on time. Mostly because of just issues of health and other things going around preventing us from getting video content on the schedule. But for the most part, we did really good at keeping up with the schedule as promised. Doranpor, the saga, did not start in December like I was hoping. That was primarily because of scheduling conflicts to getting videos filmed and getting everyone together to do audio recording. But we are still working on getting that done. I am determined to make sure that before the halfway mark of next year that Doranpor will be out. In the meantime, I'm going to try and get some more Battlefleet Gothic content to make up for the lack of the Doranpor saga. And once the Doranpor saga gets rolling, hopefully that'll go out in much smoother waves, and I'm probably going to change up the schedule for the release just to make up for the delay. There wasn't a whole lot of painting content this time around. A lot of that was on me because unfortunately I did hit a little bit of burnout halfway through the year. I might do another video about that later, but because of that really affected how motivated I was to get painting done to make some painting videos. But as you can see here, a good chunk of the Eldar did disappear. That was because I tried to make it where if the models were off of here and on the desk, maybe I'd be driven more to paint them. It started to help out. I did start painting a little bit near the end of the year, but it wasn't as big of a help as I was hoping it to be. So that's helped out with deciding what the resolutions I'm going to do for next year. We did have some big improvements. We got a new camera, which now do proper HD, and hopefully soon we'll get some 4K videos out. I upgraded the microphone. Hopefully the audio sounds a little better. Some people that I've talked to says the audio sounds a whole lot better now with the new microphone, so that is a big improvement. And unfortunately, even though the streaming video stuff did seem to be pretty popular, we hit a bit of a snag with that. I live in a co-op building, and there was an issue near the end of summer where the cable got damaged, and ever since then the cable has just not been working right. My upload speeds have gone into the toilet, and they haven't gotten better since. I'm working to try and get that fixed through the co-op, but we'll see what happens. So unfortunately though, because of that, I can't do any streaming content anymore for now, hoping that we can get that fixed. And so moving forward, what are our plans? Well, aside from the Doranpor saga, my goal is to try and get more stuff painted and reduce my collection. You could probably notice if you've been paying attention to some of the backgrounds here, there's some boxes missing, and especially over here and here. And that's because I've been shrinking down my collection. Part of my burnout was looking at a lot of these models and going, well, once I paint it, is it gonna still be usable in the game? And that kind of killed a lot of my motivation, because I'm like, oh, what's the point? It's not going to be usable by the time I get to use it. And then on top of that, just because of how much stuff I have, the idea of storing it all once it's built and painted was really driving me down, because I'd sit there going, well, it's stored now. Where am I going to put it once it's built and painted? And it was just so overwhelming. So my goal on top of trying to paint more of my minis, is to reduce the collection down to a more manageable size and to help improve my storage situation, to help my motivation. For the most part, pretty much all of this is probably going to stick around. I've been going through a lot of this to decide what I want to get rid of, and I've already made some improvements on that front. You can see here this Horus Heresy stuff that used to be all stacked hidden down here, so that's an improvement in terms of how much space I now have. I'm also working on changing up my army transport situation. I'm starting that right now. I'll do a video, probably one of the first videos in 2026, going over my new storage solution. But my goal is to try and reduce the number of bags I have to help open up room to store more of this stuff in a more effective manner. And try to get more games in. That's another goal I want to get. I've got a lot of board games that I haven't touched, and I want to play more of those in 2026. And I want to finish up the Eldar so I can do a massive APOC game with all of my friends, because I've got a lot of Eldar to host a multiplayer event against me, which I really want to do. So I'm hoping I can get out of this funk and get driven to finally finish painting this stuff. In terms of painting goals specifically, there are two things I really want to try. The first is with the avatar of Cain here. I want to learn and really practice on glowing effects. I want to make it where he looks like he is literally lighting up without any lights installed in him. That's one technique I've always wanted to try and learn. So my hope is to hopefully actually dive into that effect. And the second painting technique I want to try out is non-metallic metals. Specifically on the lion there, I want to paint his sword non-metallic metal. That's again one of those techniques where I always thought it looked cool and I just really wished I could do it. But every time I try, I always get a little sheepish and back out at the last minute. So those are my two painting technique goals for 2026, is to really work on glow effects and try out non-metallic metals at least once. And my overall goal for 2026 is to have this reduced. Get this where there's more built minis on display here instead of boxed up minis. So what are your goals for 2026? Is there any kind of new paint scheme you want to try? Is there a painting technique you want to try? Do you want to reduce some of your model collection? What are some of your goals in 2026? Leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you guys, and maybe we can all encourage ourselves together to get things done. 2025 wasn't a bad year. It wasn't as good as the previous year, 2024. I thought that year was a little bit better for Fearless Games. So my overall goal in the channel sense is to try and improve that. Make 2026 better. More Joy of Painting mini videos, Doranpor Saga, Season 1, and maybe if I can, I'm not going to try and push it, but I really want to try and get Season 2 out by December if I can. We're going to look into that more, but that is a goal of mine. And again, I just want to paint up those Eldar and get a video out cataloging an awesome APOC game with all of my Eldar, because it will look amazing and be probably one of the most epic things that happens for my gaming group if that were to happen. It would be on the same level, in my mind, it would be on level as when we did a massive Titan battle where one dude had 4 warlords and 6 reavers. That was an epic game. I want to use my Eldar to make just as epic of an event as that. And so, here's hoping that 2026 is an awesome year for not just the channel, but all of our hobby goals. I want to thank everybody who watched us all throughout 2025, and I hope you continue watching us through 2026. And feel free to leave comments, if there's things you want to see from the channel, if there's things you want me to work on, I will read all the comments and we will take all of the criticisms and critiques to heart to try and make the channel better. So, once again, thank you all for watching, and until next year, fearless gamers, take care.